All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the JDnFerg show. Now, as we promised, we're going through every division in the NFL, and we're going to break down two teams each week to give you guys an in-depth look at what your teams are doing. Now, we finished the AFC East last week, AFC West 2 weeks before that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move up north with one of the toughest divisions last year that played, arguably, and that is because of the fact that 3 out of 4 teams from that division made it to the AFC playoffs last year. So the first one I want to go ahead and knock out of the way here is the only one that didn't make the playoffs, and that is the Cleveland Browns. Now, let's go ahead and look at their offensive and defensive ranks before we really exclude why they didn't make it. Offense was their biggest problem by far. They were 30th in points, averaging 13.6 per game. They were 29th in total yards at 288.8 per game. They were 24th passing at 193.1 per game. Now think about that, 193.1 per game. They were only averaging 288 yards of offense per game. That's right, 95.7 was their average on the rush, leaving them at 28th place. Horrible. Horrible. Defensive ranks. Now, there is a bright side. Their defensive rankings are not all that bad. Aside from their rush, they were actually a top 10 defense to compete with the other monstrous defenses in the AFC North. They were 5th against points. That's 19.2 allowed. 10th against total yards with 332.4. They were 2nd in the pass, which I didn't even know until I looked yesterday. That was surprising. They only allowed 184.9. Now, their rush defense, that's the flaw they need to work on. They were 30th against the rush, allowing 147.4 yards per game. Garbage. That's pretty bad. Okay? Garbage. Now, yes, they are the only team to not make the playoffs in that division. It was a tough division all around. They lost 12 games. That's right, 4-12 was their record. But let's not completely dog them out, because 10 of those 12 losses were actually competitive games. But when you go 0-6 in your division, you're not going to get there. And that's where they got to change first, is they have to win more games in their division. Trent Richardson, they picked him up in the draft. Hillis, gone to Kansas City. They've said they're going to go through a committee backfield with Hardesty and Brandon Jackson also. But do you think that Trent Richardson and Whedon will be the difference makers for that offense?
No. Trent Richardson is going to be a big improvement. Big improvement, because hard-nosed son of a gun. He's gonna flat play some football. Whedon, growing pains. I know he's old, but he's got growing pains like a baby boy, especially in that division. That division has been the monster of all divisions. You can almost guarantee 2 people from that division are, from here on out, for like the longest time, are always going to go to the playoffs. And even when it always comes down to it, even though only if one team goes to the playoffs, it's like a last-second ditch effort. Who went? You know, flip a coin any given year on that division. It's a monster of a division. Nobody wants to play that division. Imagine these guys are actually in the division. That's gotta suck. But unfortunately for the Cleveland Browns, they're in the toilet.
They took the Browns to a different kind of Super Bowl, huh?
They sure did. Let's break down the old touchdowns, why don't we? They had 4 rushing touchdowns. They had 16 passing touchdowns, 1 punt and kick return, 0 on the defensive side. A combined total touchdowns for that team of 21. There's some wide receivers and some running backs with more touchdowns than that whole freaking team, dude. It's pathetic. But the defense is pretty dang good on that team. No doubt about it, dude. In that division, you have to be.
Yeah, all those defenses in that division obviously are top-ranked defenses.
Hell yes.
Even the aging Steelers.
Hell yes. So anyways, let's go to the sacks. The sacks, they ended up with 32 sacks while only giving up 39. Yeah, 39 sacks. It's about mid-pack, but not bad. Their turnover ratio. This surprised the living hell out of me. They actually had a +1 turnover ratio. But I guess that just goes to the defensive side. Literally, they were handling their business. You just kind of wish that the offense would have did anything to give them a helping hand.
Help them out.
God. Because literally, I mean, you get a defense that holds the other team to less than 20 points per game. Dude, you have got to win an abundant amount of those games. In this NFL? Hell yes. Them? Hell no. God. Signed and re-signed. None worth mentioning. The losses, you already mentioned one of the ones I was going to bring up. Another one is Titus Brown. That's off the defense. He was actually a pretty decent part of the defense for defensive backs. The guy's pretty decent. So, I don't know their franchise went to, well, Phil Dawson, the kicker. Like we were talking about off camera. You know, that may not be a bad idea. His franchise tag is less than $1 million, so that's pretty cheap. Good idea. And another little point of view I wanted to bring up, Vegeta. He is on the Cleveland Browns. He will be doing his 3-game suspension beginning of the year. Okay.
At least he'll be back.
Yeah, at least he'll be back.
Vilma, sue all you want to. Yeah, not coming back this year.
Sorry, not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
First round picks for them were Trent Richardson and Brendan Weeden. You know, both great pickups. Weeden, I think he'll be great in 2 to 3 years. I'm leaning more towards the 3-year side. Trent Richardson, as soon as he gets footstep on, you know, as soon as he puts feet on that ground, game on. He's going to be a monster. Especially in that division, you have to be a monster in that division. That division, like we said, defenses are so mean in that dang division. This was the right guy to pick up for this team, for that division. Another guy I wanted to point out was their 6th round pick, second to last pick, Billy Wynn. He's a defensive tackle, big boy, 6'4", 294, pretty quick. Out of Boise State, got a great reviews from everybody. This guy stands a chance to be a good, solid middleman in that defensive line. I actually like this pickup a lot. So, and I actually, for defensive guys, he was, surprisingly enough, I know nobody saw it, but he was actually on my top 30. He made it into the top 30. Not the top 20, but the top 30 for defensive guys overall in this year's draft. So I actually liked it. That's all I got really on the Cleveland Browns. Not really much to talk about. They're going to be in the bottom of the bucket this year again. They'll be going to a different Super Bowl again for the Browns.
And now moving on to the team that was originally the Cleveland Browns, who moved to Baltimore to become the Ravens, is the Ravens. Their offensive ranks. They were 12th in points, averaging 23.6 a game, 15th in total yards with 338.7, 19th in the pass at 213, and they were 10th in the rush, of course, with Ray Rice at 124.8 average. Their defensive ranks, again, monster defenses in this division. They were 3rd in points allowed, allowing only 16.6 average. 3rd in total yards allowed at 288. 4th against the pass with 196, and then they were 2nd in the run, only allowing 92.6 per game. Now that's I need to say more about a defense, because that is solid.
That's solid.
But now on their defense, Terrell Suggs, Achilles tendon injury, possibly out the whole season. He's saying by November that he could possibly be back. If he does, great. But do you risk it? Someone else who's in the same position that was gonna vie for some playing time while he was out was Michael McAdoo. Same injury, out the season. Does that defense still stay solid? Do they find someone who could at least fill that gap?
No, not as good. The defense will, yes, stay solid. Their numbers are going to drop. Suggs, I'm sorry, that man is a monster. Look at his numbers. Look at the rest of the defense numbers. That man was a huge part of that defense. It's going to take a little hit. Will it still be a top 10?
Probably. Now, just a quick question
sick.
also. If they find somebody who fills that void well enough, even if Suggs is ready by November, do you risk putting him in? Or do you let this person who was filling that void and doing a decent job in his stead keep playing the season out?
I think that Suggs is going to completely erase all doubt. He's not coming back this year.
And now moving on to the offensive side of the ball. They have 2 contract disputes going on right now.
Yeah.
Ray Rice, Joe Flacco, they both want contracts. What do you do?
Joe Flacco, you're going to have to ride this one out yet another year. Show us what you're made of. Ray Rice, what do you want? It's yours. Hand the man the check. This guy is literally about 80% of your friggin' offense. He was your leading rusher. He was your leading receiver. Do you want him to throw a pass or two? He actually did one. And he actually completed it for 1 yard. So I'm just saying, this guy's up 80% of your offense. You pay that sucker whatever he wants. Joe Flacco, we got nothing but love for you. Show us another year, we'll give you the contract.
He did have good strides this year in improving and showing people that he's the quarterback. They did go to the AFC West Championship, and yeah, Evans, that should have been a touchdown. You should have caught that. That was there in between 2 defenders perfectly, end zone. All you had to do was hang on.
I agree.
We're moving on. We're moving on. Let's go ahead.
Hold on, I'm going to pause on that real quick. I got something else to say on that exact same point. Yes, Evans, you should have caught that pass. Great pass by Flacco. Flacco, it was 4th down. Dude, Ray Rice was 3 yards in front of you, standing on the 1st down marker. It's Ray Rice. You pass it to Ray Rice, because even if he doesn't get in the end zone, that's a 1st down. Your balls keep continuing to move. That's all I'm saying. But hey, let's move on now. All right, let's get to the draft. The Ravens, wait. I got to talk about some defensive stuff. I almost got too carried away. Defensive touchdowns, 15. Passing, 21. Punt kick return, 1. Defensive touchdowns, 4. Sacks got 48. That's a defense. Sacks given, 33. That's not bad. Turnover ratio, +2. Now, on me, after looking at the defensive stuff, I actually wanted more out of the turnover ratio.
But look at their division.
God, you are on it, man. That's exactly what I was going to say. I love this. It's perfect. What more could you ask for? Okay, anyways.
Come on.
The re-signs and the signs. Let's say signs. Jacoby Jacobs.
Jones.
I was like, what? Jacoby Jones, wide receiver. He came from the Texans. I like it. He'll see about as many catches as he did over in the Texans, though, but, he may get a few more. But I actually like it. I thought it was good. For that 3-headed beast out there, this will help complete it even more than what it already is.
I think the change of venue will be positive for him.
Completely agree.
It's kind of hard to try and fill in Andre Johnson's shoes over at Houston. That's a big pair of shoes to try and fill.
Hell yeah. Especially when it doesn't matter, when the quarterback can just throw it out there and the guy's like, oh, don't worry about it, I got it.
Yeah.
Anyways, another signing. Curtis Painter for the backup quarterback. This guy was the quarterback last year for the Colts. Anybody heard of them last year?
Is he just holding the snap on the extra points?
Why would you sign that guy? He won 1 game.
Did you see him pass?
Did you see him play? Did you watch film? All right, moving on. Signs, re-signs. They did manage to re-sign Sergio Kendall. I like it a lot, dude. Linebacker for the Ravens. That guy's a monster. I like it. Another one, Ladarius Webb. How can you not love that guy? He was a big part of that defense. Excuse me. Puller. Sorry, completely phased out on him. Pollard, he's a defensive back. He came in. He was one of the subs. He came in often though. Even when the other guy got injured, he came in quite often. You know, he played pretty good. He did all right. And of course, Suggs. You heard it here. He's going to be placed on the IR soon enough. Draft. They didn't get their first draft till the second round. They had 2 second-round picks, third, 2 4s, 5, 6, and a 7th. Their first pick in the second round, Courtney Upshaw. This guy is capable of moving in and taking over where Suggs is out. He's capable. He's played the position a few times. He's not used to it, but he's capable. I like this kid a massive amount. He was in my top 10 for defensive guys. Now, another guy I wanted to bring up was would you say his name? I can't say it.
Kelechi Osemele?
Osemele. That's how you say it. I always want to say oatmeal. But anyways, the guy's a tackle, 6'5", 333 pounds out of Iowa State. This guy is going to be solid. Just solid. Unfortunately, he's going to that team. They have unbelievable tackles as is. But I believe that they're going to move this guy on the inside. He's not going to play tackle. I think they're going to stick him in the center, and he'll do just fine there. But this is one big monster of a guy. Great feet, great hands. You know, just all around. This guy is sound. So that's the 2 guys I wanted to bring up. Other than that, whatever. They met all their needs in the draft in the offseason. So did the Browns. Hey, good job to them. You know, good luck Browns, good luck Ravens. Ravens will probably take this division.
All right, and with that being said, let's go ahead and cut it off right now. Next week, we'll go ahead and go over the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. And until then, subscribe, share, and show you care.